Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Smith Everest PRS-25, which is sold by Time Factors. Before you take a look at the watch, let's take a quick look at the packaging here. Comes in this Time Factors leather travel pouch thing here. You get a microfiber cloth, and it's padded with foam in here. So nice, simple, effective packaging, which is fine with me. So I really wanted to like this watch. I'm a big fan of the Rolex Explorer. This is 36 millimeter, so it's a better fit for my 6.5-inch wrist. Also has the 1016 Explorer styling. This one is the Gilt dial version. It's essentially the same as the non-gilded version, but the hands, the logo, and the minute track are gilded. The price that I paid for this after the shipping and foreign transaction fees is about $505 US. I really like the gilded logo and the Everest below that. I've never seen this before. It's almost like a sunburst. You can see the reflection changing on the logo there as I move the watch around. It's very neat to look at. Now, the reason why I bought the gilded version is I thought I'd have a better chance at purchasing this watch. He has a very limited time window on the Time Factors website. I think he has a release coming up here in July. If you're interested in buying this watch, I would caution you on purchasing this watch, though, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, let's just look at the watch here. It's a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces, a polished bezel, a brushed case on the top here, polished on the sides. It's a nice curvaceous feeling case, which I really appreciate. I'm a big fan of the Seiko SKX, and reason for that is the case shape. But anyway, that's a drilled lugs. It has a solid bracelet, solid end links, solid links. It has a stamped clasp. This portion here is milled, and the issue I have with this watch is a clasp, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. The bracelet itself is it's okay. I'm not a fan of the rivet bracelet style, but that's what it's offered on. It's a brush, and it is meant to look like a riveted bracelet, so you can see these little relief cuts here, and then these fake rivets on the side. Has a signed crown, S there for Smiths. Briefly on the company, this is not the original Smiths watch company. The owner of Time Factors purchased the rights to the Smiths name. That company kind of went out of business back in around 1980. And what this watch company is known for is providing military watches to the British Army, Air Force, Navy. Also, Sir Edmund Hillary, he either wore one or had one in his possession when he went to Mount Everest, went to the peak of Mount Everest. So it's a little bit of the history of the company there. This rivet bracelet does taper down from 20 down to 16. Not in a normal fashion that a bracelet would taper where it kind of sweeps down. This one, just the segments get smaller and smaller as you come down to the clasp. So they're just straight edges that gradually get smaller. So this has the Miyota 9039 movement, which is the same as the 9015, but does not have the ghost date position. So a ghost date would be a movement that has the date wheel on it, but the dial is not cut out for that. So this here is a simple 3-hand movement. This position here is hand winding, and then next position out will be hand set. So you can see it's hacking. The second hand has stopped. You simply push it all the way back in and wind it down. I have had a little bit of difficulty getting this to screw in sometimes. You see I'm pushing and then screwing it down, but it doesn't seem to be catching the threads. There we go. Does have a sapphire crystal with AR coating. This crystal here, though, you can see this white ring around the inside of the crystal. My first time experiencing that on a sapphire watch. I've been wanting an Omega Speedmaster for a long time, and I think that has a similar thing where you can get it with sapphire or with Hesalite, and the sapphire has this kind of a white milky ring in there. The Hesalite does not, but anyway, sapphire crystal with AR coating. It does have a slight dome. The Time Factor's website says it's a high dome. I'm not sure what that means, but this does have a slight dome to it. Not so easy to see on camera, but there is a slight dome there. 316L stainless steel with, again, a mixture of brushed and polished surfaces. The crown, of course, as I just demonstrated, is screw down. The case back is screw down as well. A nice simple polished case back. It says PRS-25. And then Smith's Deluxe has a serial number there, and it is rated to 100 meter water resistance. So that will be plenty fine for everyday use and going for a quick swim, that kind of stuff. It's also anti-magnetic to 4,800. So if you need that, it does have that as well. Okay, let's go over the dimensions and then we'll go over the pros and cons of this watch. So we're looking at 43.5 lug to lug, 36 millimeter case diameter, 11.1 thick. And again, the bracelet tapers from 20 down to 16. And the crown is a little small, but I think it fits the proportions. It's at 5.5 millimeter. And as I mentioned, this costs $505 to my door from England or UK, United Kingdom. Okay, so some of the negatives with this watch is there are some very sharp edges on the solid end link here, right here, where it's milled out for the spring bar. It's almost like a little hook on here. It's very sharp. Let's see if I can zoom in and show that. If I have anything to point with, but hopefully you can see it right here. Right there by my fingertip. It looks kind of like a sharp hook. I have not removed this from the case. I understand it's kind of difficult to remove it and then get it to fit back in there, so it's a very tight fit. I'll take a quick look at the dial here since we're zoomed in again. Nice simple dial. I have not looked at the lume on this, so we'll look at that in a moment. But as far as lume, it does have, hold on one second. For lume, it has the X1-C3 lume. Let's zoom back out. Another issue here, it's not really an issue, it's kind of interesting, is the I have the clasp all the way in on the tightest micro adjust. Let me zoom back in. And this rivet actually interferes with the closing of the clasp. It's just not enough that it prevents it from closing, but you can definitely feel the clasp rubbing on that rivet as you're closing it. Sorry. So push it down, you can feel it rubbing on there. And then lastly, the big issue is I have, I think 3 videos documenting this now, is the clasp keeps popping off wrist, and I fixed this twice now. I think I finally got it fixed well enough where it's not going to pop off wrist in normal day-to-day use, but the problem with this is it's very difficult to open it now. You may have noticed I was pulling it from the back of the clasp. Opening it from the proper part of the clasp it takes a bit of force. I'll try and demonstrate on camera here. Nope, sorry. Anyway, and then to close it, you can't simply just press it down on your wrist like this. Normally you would just be able to press it close. It's not actually closed. Yeah, I think that did it. But anyway, to take it off wrist. So what I've been doing is I'll take my finger behind here and squeeze it close, and then to take it off, I'll do it from the back. Just like that. Super easy that way. And let me see if I can demonstrate it popping off wrist. Now, keep in mind, this is after I've adjusted it. I first took some needle pliers and tried to bend the hook. That worked a little bit. And then my second attempt, I took a hammer and a punch, and then I hit that hook down, which then bends the hook this way. But anyway, let's see if it does it anymore. It may not actually do it. Yeah, I think I might have fixed it. Well, yeah, so let's just leave it at that. I already talked about that quite a few times, but we'll zoom in on the hook that I'm talking about, and then we can get into the wrist shots, and then we can look at the loom. But this is the hook here. So what I was doing is bending the hook in this direction, and that puts more friction on this piece here that the hook engages with. But like I said, I've already talked about this quite a few times. So let's get it on wrist. One more time, let's appreciate the logo with this sunburst. I really like it. I really like the looks of the watch. Just wish it would work. So let's get this on wrist. Then we can close out with the loom. So there we go on my 6.5 inch wrist, 52 millimeter wristband. And again, this is 36 by 43.5. We are zoomed out. See my sloppy handwriting here with my notes. So let me know in the comment section what you think of this watch. Let me know if you have any alternatives to this style of watch. I do have a couple of watches I'll be comparing to this. But if you have any other suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them. I really like the Rolex Explorer type watches. I do have my name on a list to get the new 124270, but who knows how long that's going to take. So anyway, let's pause the video. Actually, you know what? I have my SKX for size comparison. I have my SKX 009 here and my SKX 013. I still have it on this 86 Leather Co. Leather Zulu strap. So just for a size comparison. I guess we'll leave both of these in for the loom comparison as well. So this is about a 37, 38 millimeter watch. Quite a bit thicker than the Smiths though. but this is the proper 200 meter dive watch. And then we have my SKX009, which I had mentioned earlier. You know, it has a nice rounded curvy case. The SKX013 does as well. But these are dive style watches versus the field watch, simple 3-hand watch. And this, of course, has a better movement. All right, let's pause the video and we'll take a look at the lume together. All right, so I just hit these all with the UV light, and the lume on the Smith is actually quite impressive. It's brighter than both of my SKXs here. SKX013 on the left, and on the right, SKX009. Yeah, not much more to say about this. The lume is very respectable on the Smith Everest. So if you have not subscribed, I would appreciate it if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you've liked it, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of the Smith Everest PRS-25. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.